All right, so big surprise. Same situation. Right? Wherever there's smoke, there's fire. Wherever there's a triangle, there's a plata, omoplata, right? So same thing. I don't want to start digging way down here. Now, don't get me wrong. Stylistically, if you love dive under attacks, deep half guard, all that, that's great. But just remember, again, you're playing a very sport-specific game. Now you have to have like sort of sport-specific game and then a completely different game for self-defense. Okay, so all those things are there, but you don't ever have to know like deep half guard to be good at jiu-jitsu, but understanding of attacks when somebody has one arm in and one arm out is pretty fundamental for everybody, and especially when we don't have to rely on high degrees of flexibility. So when I do this one more time, right, I'm not going to try and get super close to him where he could then reach up and cross-face me or even get a deep grip on my lapel and start to smash pass me. From here, he's pressing in, and I'm only going to come towards him just enough to use my whole body to peel that towards where his arm can go, right? Because all his gears right now are to keep my knee from coming through. Okay, but he's got his thumb and everything on top, so I just go with it. Okay? And I just need a little bit of space here, again, to get my knee through. That's all I'm looking for. My whole leg doesn't need to come through, just a little bit. But for whatever reason, okay, I feel that instead of having his head kind of driving right up here, he's out a little bit from here. And so, whoops, so you knee him in the face, right? Now, as I bring this up, okay, I have my trap right here. So I start to come up and I clamp down with my knee behind his shoulder, right? Now, before I do anything else from here, I just wanted to take a look at this for a second. So, Ryan, can you turn back into me? Okay.
Nope.
No, my knee is keeping that from happening. And you say, well, if I hang out right here, couldn't he start to come around? Well, what I'm going to do is now, once I have gotten this position and locked him down with my knee, I do what? I just move my shoulders away from here, okay? And I bring this over. Now, the good thing is I could pull my bottom leg completely out to go for a traditional plata, but the good thing is I don't really have to. So if Ryan right now were to start to try and get, base back into me, so on and so forth, okay, you're going to see my hook just drop right here inside that leg. So from here, can you roll?
No, I don't feel like I can.
Oh.
Can you come back into me?
Definitely not.
Okay. So the cool part is here, all I need to do is basically prop up my elbow and just turn my stomach towards the mat. Okay. It's very, very nice, right? Because I still have the opportunity to make my transitions out to traditional, right? But I don't have to go that far. I just let that hook that's already in between his legs because it's half guard, just stay right there, right? Pinching my knee in, controlling this elbow. So I do my backstroke, come up here, and now all I'm going to do is think, how do I put pressure on that shoulder? So I'm going to raise my hips into his wrist by turning my belly down, okay? That's very, very tight, low risk submission from there. Okay, so knee in the hip, okay? Come towards him just enough to pull up on that, just so I can get my knee through. Once I come here, I kind of moving his head to the side with my thigh, and I clamp down. Test this for just a second to make sure he can't force back into you, right? And then, of course, if you're super flexible, you can start doing all this stuff, but do be aware of pressure on your leg. Sometimes, if somebody's, I've seen people actually blow their own knees out trying to pull their legs forward too much. So what I always prefer to do, flexible or not, is move my shoulders away, okay? And now I bring this in. It doesn't take me too much flexibility, okay? I'm controlling his elbow, locking down on his wrist, and then from here, I'm just letting my right foot just hook his far leg, okay? Just drops right in there. And here you want to do a second test, okay? Can your partner come into you? He shouldn't if you're just standing on that foot. But from here, what's really common is he going to be able to roll, okay? And I use that hook and I kill the roll, right? Another thing from here is I start to bring this knee through, is Ryan, could you, instead of rolling over this shoulder like a lot of people do,
Yeah.
could you roll over your left shoulder? So you kind of look towards me, roll over your left shoulder, right?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
definitely
so
do this.
check out that angle, right? That's a very, very nice escape for people. So
Yeah.
from here, if we look at it from this side, you can really see this foot, okay? So I bring this up, move my shoulders away to put that in. Now I have this. Now can you do that escape?
No.
Nope. Guess what? Can't do that one either. Okay. Backstroke with my elbow from here. Very nice. Let's try it. Just take a look real quick. So the good news is everybody's getting the lock of the position down. The only issue anybody's having right now is once they've transitioned to the omoplata position, this is a modified version when you don't pull your bottom leg out, I'm just noticing a little bit of trouble on the finish. Okay, so let's just take a look here. So go into, let's pretend I'm putting the omoplata on you, right? So I'm hooking that far leg. My foot is right here, planted on the mat, and I'm kind of doing this, just controlling. You don't have to reach and control the body like you would do in a lot of ways that the traditional one is taught. I only need this, okay, because the body control is actually being done by that bottom foot, okay? So from here, let's look at how kimuras and omoplatas put the pressure on you. Isolate the end of the lever, right? And then I have to, put the action on the fulcrum, right? Kind of stabilize the fulcrum, and then the other end of the lever does the work, right? So from here, okay, that's the pressure. So just like when you're looking at chokes, if you're going to problem solve a choke, you always say, where's the artery, right? On a blood choke. When I'm doing a joint lock, you always want to say, how does the lever work? What's the action? Okay? So once I know the action, then I sort of know where to put my pressure. So from here, I just put that foot on the mat, and I don't really have to think about it. Also, if I'm just doing this type of thing, that's where somebody might be able to power into me or start to, use this hand on the mat to start to deadlift themselves up and everything. But when I'm right here, that becomes very difficult. I'm actually putting weight on that foot. My backstroke, I come up right here. Okay, so I'm just going to follow. See, he's got the bend in his arm. I'm just going to follow the plane that I just showed you guys with my body. Just think about like that action if I were doing a kimura, what have you, right? So I'm lifting my hips and I'm turning towards the mat. And guess what? If somebody has flexible shoulders, you turn a little more. What I'm not trying to do is like go away from them, and I'm not trying to just roll on my belly. I'm trying to do what I just showed you. One more little piece that I'll let you guys practice this is, in order to escape from this, what do you think the first thing Ryan would have to do would be, given what we talked about?
Get rid of that bottom leg.
Get rid of that bottom leg, okay? How would you probably do that if you were going to do
I
it?
feel like doing like a spiral donkey.
Kick your leg straight back, okay? So right now, instead of kind of kicking it back, like kick it back. Okay, lost it. So that's my cue now, right? If I feel that leg kicked, that I am going to, based on what I feel, I'm either going to move my shoulders away again and transition to the traditional plata, right? Or from here, he's now thinking, I escaped the omoplata. So typically my favorite thing from here, if I do feel like I lost that leg, if he kicks it away, what have you, is I'm just going to move my shoulders away and just pass his arm and just sit right to his back, okay? So as soon as you feel like you lost your, and the reason why I like that transition personally a little bit better, although you could go to the traditional plata, is just he's now thinking plata defense, and I've still got to make this whole move all the way to pull my bottom leg out and get the correct angle. And during that transition time, it's much easier for him, timing-wise, to be able to start some of his defenses. Whereas, once I feel like I've lost that bottom one, okay, if I can just, from here, basically, as I take my leg off, I just switch hands, and I just shut this by. Even if he's trying to roll onto this side to beat it, okay, I can just follow him on top, right, and I'm at least passing, if not taking his back. So that is my favorite transition. But before we worry about that, let's go back and just make sure that we have the proper finish on the plata pressure, okay?